exciting time in Europe, it was known as an age of bread and the invention of social changes also led to a rise on the sword. As we have seen, the second half of the 18th century was an exciting time in Europe. It was not only an age of great invention, but the social changes also led all sorts of entertainments, from reading to museum to travel, and finding them and the accomplished French painter named French Jacques Ruteberg arrived in England in 1771 and immediately went to work as a state. From his first shows, Rutenberg showed a knack for imagination and stage design, orange interest of creating illusions that allows the audience to suspend disbelief completely. He accomplished this by giving the stage a greater feeling of depth, which he did by cutting out some of the rigid background scenery and flashing it at various angles and distances from the audience. Another real such was using a three-dimensional object on the set, like rock and bushes, as opposed to two-dimensional painted scenery. He also paid much more attention to writing and sound than before. Now, these sets are so elaborate that many people attended the theater more for them than for the actors or the story. At the time, people were wild for travel and for experiencing new places, but not everyone could afford it. Rutenberg outdid himself, however, within a show on him. He called it Heidefuskan. Heidefuskan means something like a representation of nature, and that's exactly what he intended to do. Create realistic moving scenes that change before the audience's eye. In this, he synthesized all his tricks for the rain, mechanical motion, sound, light, other special effects to create, if you will, an array multimedia production. The Fußgarten was Rutenberg's attempt to release painting from the constraint of the picture frame. After all, even though the action appears requires one moment at a time, and any illusion of movement is gone after the first glance. But Rutenberg, like other contemporary painters, wanted to add the dimension of time to his paintings. The popular thinking is that Rutenberg was influenced by landscape painting. Why can we say that the Huskan actually influenced the painter? At the very least, we have to consider that it was more of a mutual thing. We know, for example, that the important English landscape painter Thomas Gainsborough attended almost all of the early performances, and his later paintings are notable for their increased color and dynamic use of light. Rutenberg's influence on the theater, though, he was incredibly influential. The way he brought together design and lighting and sound as a unified feature of the stage can easily be seen in English theater's subsequent emphasis on lighting in motion. Now, the Ida Huskan stage where the actor is a box, a few meters wide, a couple meters tall, and a couple meters deep. That is, the action took place within this box. This was much smaller, of course, than the usual stage, but it was also allowed Rutenberg to concentrate the lighting to better effect. Also, the audience was in the dark, which wouldn't be a common feature of the theater until 100 years later. The show consisted of a series of scenes, for example, a view of London from sunrise, that changes as the day moves on. Mechanical figures such as the cattle moved across the scene, and ships sailed along the river. But what really got people was the attention to detail. Much like his work in the rain, So, for example, he painted very realistic ships and varied their size depending on their distance from the audience. Small balls moved more quickly across the foreground than larger ones did that were closer to the horizon. And the effects, like waves, were also very convincing. They reflected the sunlight or moonlight depending on the time of the day or night. Even the colors changed as they would in nature. Sound and light were important in making his production realistic. He used a great number of lights and he was able to change colors of light by using variously colored pieces of glass to create effects like passing clouds that suddenly change in color. Furthermore, he used the effect to make patterns of shadow and light, rather than using the uniform lighting that was common at the time. Many of the sound effects he pioneered are still in use today, like creating thunder by playing on one of the corners of the same copper sheet. One of the most popular thing was a storm. And there is a story that on one occasion an actual storm passed overhead during the show, and some people went outside and they claimed Luther brought the thunder was actually better than the real thunder.